Guys, we're going to talk about a little bit about Sebastian Rogers. And we'll talk about the New York knockout game and all that shit here in just a second.
Before we get started with this video, I want to take the time to say thank you to everybody that supports the channel, or any of my channels, regardless of platform, regardless of method you choose, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo, PayPal. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do if it wasn't for you, the Gun Squad. Big shout out to you guys. Love you so much. And if you too find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Show some love. Join the Gun Squad today. Support the channel. Do yourself a favor while you're down there. Check out all my other channels. I got plenty of them down there, from true crime channels to politics to live stream channels to gaming channels, wrestling channels, travel channels, amusement park channels. I got them all. Make sure you guys go check them out. Thank you. Let's get back to the story.
My first time here, live here. Thank you, G. What's up, Gangsta Cat? Good to see you. We're going to start doing lives every morning. 100%. There's just many things that are concerning. Yeah, I mean, I understand. The electrician lied on his application. What electrician? Who the fuck ain't lied on their applications before? Come on, man. What electrician in what story lied on his application, Luke? And which one of us have not lied on our applications? Serious question. Which one of us here has not embellished some shit on an application? It could be something as simple as you only worked there 8 months, but you said you worked there 12. You know what I mean? I basically was there a year. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? I don't even know what you're talking about when you say the electrician lied on the application. I don't even know what story. What's up, Amanda? How you doing, beautiful? I don't even know necessarily what story you're talking about. For the bars, man, power went out. He couldn't restore power. I told her cluster block, not the first time. Yeah, no, I hear you there. Yeah, I hear you. You don't lie, you must not want the job, bro. But yeah. There's no different in relationships. Baby, I'm going to treat you better than any man's ever treated you in your life. You fake it till you make it. 100%. Yes, JB, you got the biggest dick I've ever seen. That's exactly how you lie, bitch. Exactly how you lie. Good shit. What's up, Harrington? Exactly. And we do it too. You got the best pussy ever, girl. That's the best head ever. Look, Nicole says, let's be real, mom did not leave because she was scared, though. They have freedom now. They went on vacation instead of looking for the sun. This Sebastian, that is a pretty dick, JB. Thank you. Sebastian Riley either left on his own accord or maybe some juveniles lured him out, but I don't feel the parents are involved at all. Nope. And you know what, Gigi? I actually think you might be right. If you're some bad teenagers, bad kids, juveniles, we've seen some of them. We understand they pick on let me try to say this in the nicest way possible. They pick on the, you know what I'm saying? That they do. And once again, like I said in the last stream we did, you know, everybody always points at the stepdads. I think he had more access to the internet than they knew. I think that he was lured out of the house. Very possible. Very, very possible. 100% agree. So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get to this because I'm gonna go smoke real quick and fill up my coffee. But I want you guys to hear an interview, and this is an interview from his real father. You may or may not have heard it. And then we're gonna get back and we're gonna talk about Sebastian Rogers a little bit. It gives me but good time to give you guys something to drink, something to eat. He lied about CPS. So what? We all lie. I lie about CPS too. Guys, let me say this. He lied to who about CPS? He lied to whom? Is what my question is. How do I donate to the tip jar? The links are down below. PayPal, Cash App. Venmo. Thank you so much, though. Seth throws amazing shots at the Proud Puts, yet in the most classy way. Yeah. I do want to say this. I'm not ruling out that the parents had something to do with this. At all. At all. But what I will say, he said two different things, completely on two different... Yeah, I would lie to you motherfuckers too, because it's none of your business. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if somebody... Let me tell you something. If two true crime YouTubers was interviewing me on something, and I know that they was trying to get me in trouble, do you see what I'm saying? I wouldn't tell you motherfuckers shit about my personal life anyway. I wouldn't be upfront about CPS if it's going to change to help someone. Exactly. If Harsh was the one to interview me for whatever reason, and he starts digging into my personal life, or any of you people do, I'm liable to tell you anything. I'm not gonna, and you can't later on be like, the fact that you lied about your personal life to us strangers on the internet is sus. No, it's not. You're strangers on the internet that don't have any business in my real life unless you plan on sucking my dick. If you have no intentions to fondle my balls, you don't have any right to know anything about my personal life. Therefore, I don't owe a single one of you motherfuckers anywhere any accuracy or truth about my personal life. I'm here to be a podcaster. I'm here to tell you about whatever it is I can do, whatever channel we're on, a different thing. But if you ask me, hey, you ever had CPS called? Hell no. You ever been arrested? Hell no. Maybe, yes, no, I don't know, don't give a shit. It's not your business. And that's the problem I think we have in today's internet, today's true crime community and all this. All these strangers, just motherfuckers on the internet, think that everything's their business. Everyone does. And then they think it's sus if you don't want a complete stranger to know shit about your personal business. JB, what's your social security number? 0304113. That's not even enough numbers. So that's sus. Shut up. Exactly, memory. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, I'm going to go smoke and refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
It's been more than a month since your son went missing. How are you feeling today?
Same as I was yesterday. Just continuing the search, continue looking. I'm not going to give up. Nobody can make me give up.
And where have you been searching? Where do you think he is?
I've been searching everywhere. I mean, anything out of that 5 mile radius, that the initial covered everything there. But there's stuff elsewhere. I mean, we got a lot of territory to cover. And it being over a month, he could be anywhere currently. So I'm searching everywhere.
You, Katie, and Chris had a meeting with TBI today. Did you find out any new information?
Not that I can discuss.
Any progression that might show hope in this search?
Oh, I always have hope. Can't take that away from me.
And how confident are you that Sebastian is alive, and what do you think he's doing right now?
Pretty sure he's probably playing video games somewhere. Nobody's letting him, whoever's got him, they're not letting him see the regular news. They're not letting him surf the internet. Or else he'd know that I'm looking for him. And he'd know that he should actually be trying to get a hold of me. And that keeps me going.
Is there a strong reason to believe he may have been abducted?
I don't know if he's been abducted or if he's just, over at a friend's house. Never know. But I'll know when I find him. I'll know exactly what has happened to him.
And other news outlets were reporting that there were lights seen in the backyard that were caught on camera by a neighbor's video. Is that true?
No. What that was a trash truck. Went through, picked up trash, and when it left, of course it went faster. It didn't have to stop to pick up trash. That's just false information provided by a particular person.
Did the dogs ever pick up a scent for Sebastian?
From my information that I've been given, no.
Did they find anything on Sebastian's cell phone that would, kind of show that he was going to run away or where he might be?
Not that I know of. He didn't have any internet access or anything on there. He had been able to call, text, take a picture, send a picture, use the calculator. That's about it.
Was Sebastian in school on Friday, the day before he went missing?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you, Chris, or Katie, or any of you suspects in this case?
We're not.
Hold
Have
on.
you been cleared?
Hold the fuck on.
The investigation is still ongoing. We wouldn't be cleared.
Hold on. I find the dad sus. Let me explain why. Maybe he's just in denial. If this was my child, I would assume something violent happened. Listening to him, he sounds like he just thinks he's somewhere playing video games. He admits openly that the boy had no internet. Well, this is why I love it. Thank you, Salty. Listen to what I'm saying, though. This motherfucker right here, and look, I mean no harm to him, but what do you mean that you think he's somewhere playing video games? Like, if this was my child, how long has it been since he went missing? It's been a while, right? Either you know some shit that we don't know. Because if this was my child, let's see here. How long are we doing this? Because the United Cajun Navy ended their search as well. We'll talk about this. How long has it been gone? Since February 26th. Is that how long? Son of a bitch. We are now over a month in. It is now 34 days or whatever. There is no way in fuck. Yeah, the kid's retarded, duper. There is no way in fuck. They might have been tricked into. When I hear him speaking, I think he may think that the kids his age are responsible. They might be tricked into using his phone. But he says his phone didn't have internet. He seems very calm. I agree. He knows a lot we don't know. With 4 private investigators, I'd hope he knows more than we do. 100% Nicole. But he seems like if this is me, and it's been 34 days since my children went missing, I would assume, especially if they're kind of, retarded, I would assume that they're dead. The last thing I would assume was they must just be somewhere playing video games. Think about how big this case is. You think that if he was at someone's house playing video games as a child, you don't think that parent of that child would say, hey, no, the little motherfucker's over here. Wondering if he made it home after dinner that night. I don't know. I would be causing a disturbance in the town. Exactly. 100%. But he seems confident that this boy, I don't know, man.
Until the investigation's done. But currently, from my understanding, they don't have any information that would attach us.
If we keep watching, he'll explain why he thinks what he thinks. We will.
CPS has gone to Katie's house before. You didn't know about that until this investigation. How does that make you feel?
That somebody somewhere dropped the ball because I was never informed. And I'm the biological father. I have joint physical custody. Somebody dropped the ball and didn't reach out and inform the father, which is me. And I don't understand why the state dropped the ball on that one.
And how did you find out about CPS?
Yeah, but anybody can call CPS. Look, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. You know, when people realize that, with myself, when people realized that swatting me does not work, when people realize that swatting me does not, let me give a shout out to Brian who sent 10. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. When people realize that swatting me didn't work, and you can't see exactly memory, because the point of CPS is to see if there is merit to the claims. This is why when I'm in a relationship, I don't reveal who I'm in a relationship with. Do you see what I'm saying? Because once people realize that swatting me does not work, they try to find out who I'm with so they can, because CPS, the minute they call, CPS has to come. CPS has to come until they close the case. You can't escape CPS. So if some stranger, if Salty Grace decided she wanted to get at JB Gunner, wanted to piss JB Gunner off, she could just call him just to make my life hell. Do you see what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, CPS, you know, a lot of times when you have maybe fraudulent calls, maybe revenge calls, which we see a lot, you know, they're not going to just contact everybody and update them. He was already supposed to move with dad before he came up missing in action. Now that's suspicious. That is suspicious. The fact that there was a custody battle going on amongst these people. That is very suspicious. However, if you want to know the truth, I believe this is just neglect and it led to him walking off into some shit, and I believe he's not alive. And if he's not alive, we then have to ask, well, who killed him? Who killed him? How and why? Because he's not, in my opinion, he's not just somewhere playing video games. In my opinion.
Podcast.
And I mean, how does that concern you, especially with this case, that they might have done something to cause him to run away?
I don't know what that really means, but.
And by the way, that is possible. Let me explain something to you. There are plenty of women that believe that children are so much theirs, because us as in America, and I don't know about you people in other countries, here in America, for some reason, we act, our legal system, family courts, things of that nature. For some reason, family courts in America act like the children belong to the mother more than the father. And what happens is when women are on the verge of losing their children to the father, women snap. And so do men. But I'm saying women are so used to having their way with family courts and custody. Whenever it doesn't go their way, they snap. It is wrong. Very wrong, Nicole. Very wrong. And it's the truth, though. So it is possible that the mother could have been like, fuck that. If I can't have him, you can't have him. It goes back to the old thing we've heard for decades. If I can't have you, nobody can. You see the point? Son is anxious to go see dad, knows he is coming. Can't wait to go with him. I would ask if Sebastian knew about the custody battle. Yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. You know, there's a lot of people that act like your kids aren't supposed to know about things going on with the facts. I mean, things going on in relationships, but every kid knows. When you fight with your spouse, the kids know. You know, I mean, you can try to act as if you don't argue or yell in front of the kids, but it happens. Even if they're in another room, they hear it. You see what I'm saying? I think kids know typically all this type of shit. Paige says, I read last night that the grandparents took off to Alaska, and when the bio dad done several YouTube interviews, he was all grins like he knew something. Very, very possible.
Just know that I don't have
Damn,
any
Paige.
information.
Well, here in America, 87% of child support and child custody goes to women, which is really strange because when a child is killed by a parent, almost 70% of the time it's by the women, not the men. So typically in America, mothers killed the kids, but yet they get custody almost 90% of the time. Wild world, huh? Wild world.
Is there an official timeline?
But it's all
I
financial.
know people, there was, we went to bed at this hour, but
It's all financial. The way the state can siphon money from the father is to make sure it's not in the father's custody.
FBI or anyone have an official timeline as to the series?
I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm not involved in the investigation, so I wouldn't have it.
Have the three of you been in contact every day like you were several weeks ago about this?
I was in contact with both Kitty and Chris today, but I've heard he said his phone is open and available. Well, so is mine. You can leave a voicemail. Like 7 or 8 people have already left me voicemails today. I'm going. I get people calling me while I'm on the phone, and it's like, I can't just sit there and answer the phone for everybody. If I did that, I probably wouldn't be able to get out of my house.
There's something weird about I don't like this.
Over this investigation, I'm sure you've received criticism as well as the Proudfoots. How does that make you feel in a time where you're just trying to find your son?
People are being, that goes back to those keyboard warriors I talked about on the first interview that you and I had. They're still at it. They'll never stop.
I agree.
There's cowards in this world, and then there's people who are go-getters. My feet, they're on the ground. They're never going to leave the ground. I'm going to find my son. Period.
And plans, today on moving forward?
His demeanor is weird as fuck, but keep in mind he's a normie. So I'm gonna be honest with you. For normies that don't deal with the internet every day, I understand where he's coming from with that. I do. I do think his demeanor is still strange. It doesn't sit well with me.
Any more resources being used on this investigation, or anything you have to say about that?
The United Cajun Navy is currently sitting down there right now at 90 Volunteer Drive in Hendersonville. 10:30. That's when volunteers need to show up. 10:30. Show up, have your ID, sign the paperwork, and they send people out in teams. When you show up, there ain't nobody there except for a couple people.
What's up, Andy?
That's because they've already sent teams out.
We'll talk about the UCN in just a
Have there
second.
been a lot of volunteers coming out to help find Sebastian?
Today there was, and I want to thank everybody who did come out. We're seeing an increase, and we're going to continue to see an increase. I'd like the whole state of Tennessee to volunteer, and then we'll hit other states.
And you're Sebastian's father. Tell me, what is Sebastian like?
Now, I will say the fact that he wants everybody to help look for his son, that tells me that he doesn't have his son. I do find him awkward, but there's nothing illegal about being awkward. Not everybody is used to talking on camera. So he seems really chill. But I'm going to be honest. Why would he be doing all these podcasts and news, asking for, everybody's help to find the boy if he had the boy hidden? So I do believe he's going to be the innocent bystander here. I do not think the father here is to blame for this at all. He's just awkward. You know what I mean?
Unique child. All right. It's really hard to describe my son.
Well, he's a tard. It's okay.
Being unique.
That's what makes it so, and people can get mad at me for using the word tard or not. I don't care. At the end of the day, this was a mentally challenged child that should have never been left alone, that should have never been given access to walk out the house, none of this shit. None of this shit. So even though I don't think the step-parents necessarily did anything either at this point, There's definitely neglect in this situation. In my opinion, if you got a fucked up kid, and I mean that in the nicest way, like you have to stay on them constantly. You can't turn your attention from them at all.
Up to no good, or he's up to good. He's just got that uniqueness about him. It's really hard to describe. I mean, he's my mini me. If he has a goal, he's going to accomplish that goal. You know, people at school, they liked him. All the kids are wanting to know when he's going to come back. They want to help and volunteer. Teachers are they're putting out prayers every day. You know, everybody, it's coming up. It's Easter. I'm hoping for an Easter.
Why was he going for custody? The same reason every real father goes for custody? Because we don't believe the kid automatically belongs to you, the woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I do not ever leave him alone. There you go, John. He's 20 years old. There are different styles of abuse. 100% agreed. You have custody of your son. That's awesome. Chris X, the one with his daughter, spoke on Illuminati's podcast, but then again, scorned women may exaggerate or lie. Yes. Oh, yeah. You never listened to that. What did the X say about Chris? What did the X say? The same thing every woman says. He's abusive. My ex-boyfriend's abusive. They all say it. They all say it. Notice that they never say, and listen, I'm not trying to insult you women, but when's the last time you heard a woman say that the relationship ending was her fault? Serious question. Has anybody ever heard a woman say it? Was a relationship ending ever her fault? Women always say, 1,000%, but in many words and tears, of course. Of course. They all say it. They are like, the woman has never taken responsibility for a relationship crumbling ever anywhere on earth. Even if they cheat and get caught, they're like, yeah, but it's because you emotionally abused me and I felt lonely and I needed someone to hold me and caress me and make me feel whole again. Shut up, bitch. Shut up.
You know, I could definitely use it in my life right
Exactly, Duper. Not my fault.
Why
Exactly.
did they search the landfill?
now.
Exactly, Nicole. I hear
They
you.
didn't, not part of the investigation. They're not going to tell me stuff. I am emotionally attached, as any parent should be.
And how often do you meet with TBI?
If I call them all the time. Call, text, hey, any new news? They either let me know or they let me know.
Said he,
Are you happy with the work?
said he backhanded his 6-year-old daughter in the mouth. You know, there's going to be a lot of difference in opinions there, right? There are many of you that do not believe that children should be spanked. I came up at a different time, man. If I mouthed off, my grandmother, mother, not father, stepfather, uncle, aunt. When I was a kid, if we backtalked, we did get smacked in the mouth. I understand times have changed and everybody's soft now. But just because a kid got smacked in the mouth doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. And I get it. People are from different countries. They have different mentalities. But I'm just being honest. In a good, strong, conservative type household, there's discipline. I believed about 15% of what Chris's ex said. Everything she said was contradictory. Yeah. And look, not everybody's going to agree with me. But all I'm saying is, there was plenty of times as a kid I got backhanded in the mouth, smacked in the mouth. Shut up, boy. What the fuck you saying? And you can see it now. I'm a grown-ass man and I talk out my ass all the time. Imagine me as a little kid talking the shit I talk now. I was the same way when I was a little kid. Grandma, grandpa, all them motherfuckers. I had my mouth washed out with soap. I got smacked in the mouth, backhanded in the mouth. It was a different time back then, man. We got actually disciplined. Today, y'all would call that abuse and beating them.
That all these agencies have done, or do you think there needs to be?
There could probably always be more. We just got to figure out what more is necessary.
40 years ago, nobody called it abuse, though.
I'm not unhappy, but you asked me that after my son's back, and it's going to be I'm unhappy. All right, because in law enforcement, it's always goal oriented.
Exactly, Paige.
Go to work.
Exactly, Glenn.
Put a smile on your face. Get the job done. I know that they're putting.
He seems to really think the kid's alive, and I'm concerned about that. Guys, the United Cajun Navy ends their search for Sebastian Rogers, and they did it for the most pussy reason. We're getting death threats on the internet. Stop it. These motherfuckers just didn't want to work no more. They just didn't want to work no more. I can't believe it, man. They calls off search for Sebastian Rogers.
Security concerns, the United Cajun Navy is temporarily calling off their search for Sebastian
Paige.
Rogers. Good evening and welcome to News 2 Now at 10. I'm Bob.
No, let me tell you something. The way these parents try to punish their kids now, they're like, we're going to take away your $2,000 phone. First of all, what kind of dumb motherfucker is getting their kids a $2,000 phone? But they do. And then that's their punishment. If their kid can be completely fail in a class, beat up their teacher, come home and they're like, you can't play Fortnite for 3 hours. That's not a punishment. That's not a punishment at all. Take it away for a few hours, 100%. And then the parents today have the nerve to say parents back in my day or the generation before me was abusive. No, you guys are just pussy. I'm going to give you a stern talking to, and we're going to talk about cutting back on your iPhone data. Shut the fuck up. Exactly. That's why teachers are outraged about how the kids are now versus before. 100% true. 100% true.
And I'm Haley Wilkes. The nonprofit organization joined the search for the teen missing out of Hendersonville last weekend. But as News 2's Sarah
Exactly,
Smith
Amanda.
reports, the group says the search has now become too dangerous.
The volunteer group, United
I come from a different thing where you will stand in the corner for an hour. You'll stand in that motherfucker holding your ankles. You know what I'm saying? Like, today's world, they're like, you can't make them stand for an hour. Exactly, $2,000 phone. I can't. Swear to God, John, in my house, right now, a step kid, the same fucking thing. 14 years old, still writes with your nose touching the wall. Still writes like his 6-year-old daughter or sister writes better than him. Kid doesn't even know what cursive is. $2,000 phone, which I've taken away. You see my point? Kneeling on rice, yes. I didn't pay for the fucking phone. They came with that shit. You see my point? 100%. So it's funny that you said that, John, because it's the exact same. I swear to God, that's a real life scenario, what you just said, in my real life. Exactly, Paige.
Cajun Navy reportedly getting death threats for their efforts in finding Sebastian Rogers. Sumner County Commissioner.
He said my 22-year-old daughter saw me writing in cursive and thought I was making stuff up. No, let me explain something to you how different shit was. We used to get paddled in school. A whole other motherfucker that wasn't your parents. You'd go to the principal's office. I remember I had this big black-ass science teacher. Just swole. And that was the first teacher that ever paddled me. And that shit hurt. When I was in the, so we didn't just get yelled at. We didn't just get yelled at. We got paddled by strangers. And then they would call your mom and be like, we just passed big ass board. Yes. Absolutely. They didn't call and ask. You got paddled and then they called. No bullshit. I can't even understand how these people survive today. Oh yeah, Andy, the FBI never gets involved. I get death threats every day. FBI never helps me, so fuck it, I'll just fuck them. I had a science teacher who was prejudiced that paddled the white kids. I said, guys, yeah, me too. Me too. I had to teach my kids cursive because they don't teach it anymore in school. That's crazy. You know what else they don't teach? They don't, ever since they like inserted Common Core into the, like these kids don't know how to show their math. We got whacked on the knuckles by the rulers, yes. Like, these kids don't know how, since when can you use calculators at school? We didn't get to use calculators till we were in high school and we had to have what's called a graphing calculator. Remember that shit? If you used a calculator to solve a math problem in school, you cheated, you're suspended. Now, these kids, they want them to use calculators. They sign their name in normal print. That's bizarre, right? And you know what? They're going to start changing documentation. Because right now, currently, they have signature and then, remember, you know how it is, like if you sign a lease or something. So I guess he's a good point because Gen Z and millennials don't sign leases. You know how it has you, it says signature and then right under it says printed name? That's most applications for anything. Most contracts, that's what it is. Our teacher screaming, you ain't gonna have a calculator in your pocket all day. 100%. These motherfuckers get to use calculators in elementary school, and they still don't know shit. These kids have all the information in the world in their hands, and they're dumb as fuck. How easy is it to copy normal print? So dangerous? Exactly. 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 They have no idea how to make change? No. None. These people are, I'm telling you, man, it's the goddamn fluoride, the water plus it's the education system. These little fuckers are dumb as shit.
Schmidt shares his concerns.
I did receive a phone call from Skip Butler a couple of days ago, and he had reached out to me, and as soon as he told me that, that he was getting death threats,
exactly,
and
Luke.
Fearing for their safety, I said, you need to call.
Luke says we got people that can't tell time on a face style clock, only digital. Yeah, no idea how to handle paper checks. None. It is bizarre. And that's why JB in their hands, not their heads. Yeah, it is so crazy. Remember, the 15-year-old, or 14-year-old, last night, because I had him sitting right there doing his homework, right? Because I homeschool and do virtual school with the children now. That way we can travel and do whatever we want, right? And I don't believe in the education system. Now remember, these kids just moved in with me last November. So it's not like I've been with them their whole life. He sat right here, 14 years old, and he asked me, how do I write 1,000? I said, ONE dash 1,000, because I thought he meant, how do I spell or how do I properly write the number 1,000? I thought for sure that's what he meant. Thank you, memory. That's not what he meant. He didn't know. He's like, I said, do you mean alphabetically or numerically? And he said, I don't know, the second one. I was like, you don't know what the difference is between alphabetically and numerically? Like, you don't understand what that is? No, Ginger Hellcat, you got it. Swear to God, you got it. So I'm sitting here and I was like, you mean the number? You want to write the number? And he said, yes. I said, oh, and you should have said Google it, yes. I sat here with my beer sitting in this exact spot. and just looked over, and I started fucking like, I didn't know if I was gonna cry or laugh. And I said, okay, well, let me ask you this. How do you write 100? He looked at me and quiet. I said, how do you write 10? He wrote 1, he said 10. I said, but you don't know how to write 100 and you don't know how to write 1,000? Dude, you start driving next year. You start driving next year. I couldn't fucking believe it, man. I could not fucking believe it. It is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. That is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. These kids today, they're dumb as shit. The teachers are not doing them well at all.
Law enforcement right away.
It's unclear who the threats are coming from. United Cajun Navy says they plan to start the search back up, but in private, adding that they don't want certain groups or personalities getting in the way. The group also taking to their Facebook page to share this post, writing anyone that impedes on their search will be a person of interest.
Now, I understand people are, speculating, and I get it. That's just the nature of our society, especially when it comes to social media. But, I would like to see that energy from...
They tried that same thing with the Idaho 4 case. This is how they try to shut people down from talking about this. Remember in the Idaho 4 case when Chief Fry tried to threaten the people that's on, like podcasters and true crimers? Say, we will hold you responsible. This cocksucker just did the same thing. If you get involved, and I assume he means people like me, he's talking about social media, we will consider you a person of interest. Man, suck my dick. Person of interest. These people have lost their goddamn mind.
Speculating diverted to finding Sebastian.
The sheriff's office says they'll give an update on Sebastian's disappearance Tuesday. Schmidt says check with deputies before searching on your own.
I'm concerned of the welfare and the safety of our citizens out there searching. If they search on properties that they just don't have permission to search,
right.
Or if they just, disturb anything or contaminate anything,
right.
Those are the biggest fears.
1 month later, this community hopeful Sebastian is alive. His story even catching the attention of people across state lines.
Gosh forbid he wasn't here, that other states are aware of his missing and are continuing to share the flyers.
In Hendersonville, Sarah Smith, News 2.
I agree. Things are going to get worse. 100%. So they have stopped searching. Hunt for missing autistic teenager Sebastian has covered at least 10,000 miles, they say. 10,000 miles? Investigators looking for Sebastian in Tennessee said on Tuesday that they covered somewhere between 10,000 and 12,000 miles in the past 4 weeks. Isn't that the entire width and beyond of the United States? Times like 4? Isn't the entire width of the United States like 5,000 miles? 3,000, 4,000, 3,000? Yeah, it's not more than 3,000, is it? No. Because if I was to drive from right here to California, it's only like it's nowhere. How the fuck did they do 10,000 miles? No evidence outside of the home. Screams he never left. I agree. He said there's a map of the miles that looks like a kid scribbled on a map. That's crazy, man. Said from ponds to homes to woodland, hundreds of people have been scouring the area where the 15-year-old vanished a week ago. 1,500 searchers. 2,000 search miles in the first 2 days. Damn, man. This is wild. This is wild as shit. Dad, by the way, says mom and stepdad won't talk to him now. Now this must have been retracing themselves. Yeah, this is concerning. Why wouldn't the mom and stepdad talk to him?
Okay, so now for more on the search for the teen and the concerns about what may have happened to that boy, we're joined by Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father. Seth, thank you so much for joining us. I'm concerned
about this.
I'm so sorry for everything you're
like,
going.
Why would the mom and stepfather not talk to him at all? And from the mom and stepfather, don't they present a different story?
Going through, we want to get the word out about Sebastian. Hasn't gotten enough national attention. Sebastian, I want to be clear, was with his mom and stepdad when he disappeared. But you're very close to Sebastian. Do you have any idea what may have happened here?
I haven't been. I don't know. I mean, I got a phone call and a text message that I received after I got off of work, stating that I needed to give the stepfather a call. I called him, and he was like,
"Oh shit, my bad.
Sebastian's missing. Don't be upset or anything, but you need to come to the house." I couldn't. I don't know what happened to him.
Everybody always blames the stepdad. As someone that's been a stepdad for a long time to a lot of different kids, I've always found that offensive. But hey.
I haven't seen him in over a month. I've been out here looking for him.
Seth, I mean, what do they think happened? I mean,
let me grab some coffee.
I mean, could he really have just walked away like that? It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. His shoes are still by the front door. His switch was there. His phone was in the kitchen. It just didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and I still can't figure it out. I've been looking everywhere, been handing out flyers, been just trying to keep up hope, and I've reached out to United Cajun Navy to sit there and see if they will help me, and they answered my call.
Yeah, one thing I couldn't understand is why they
up,
were telling people not to search at one point. I mean, the
exactly. Dude wasn't even home. Dude was at work when the boy went missing. Am I right? Stepdad was at work. You know, stepdad or grandparents. But if the stepdad was legitimately at work, how could it be him? Unless you think the stepdad sent someone to go do it. Maybe it was the mom. Remember what I said earlier? Yeah, I don't think the dad clearly is in pain. Remember what I said? The mom could have very much so been like, if I can't have him, nobody can have him. Stepdad was at work, real dad wasn't there. That leaves mom. So I think the mom snapping the stepdad just helped with the body. Now that makes sense.
Went to the landfill. It was this investigation, and they're telling people not to search. I couldn't make sense of that. I mean, it made me want. Do you have any indication that investigators may know that something bad happened here?
They haven't told me anything, and they told people not to search, but I've been searching since that Monday. I can't just sit around and not do anything. I've got to find my son.
I thought so, Paige.
Yeah, I understand. I would be doing the same exact thing as you, and I think everybody around America would be, and their hearts go out to you. Have you talked to Sebastian's mom, stepdad? You mentioned you had that conversation when they said, you know, he's gone missing, but have they been able to give any more information?
I haven't spoken to him.
But was he unemployed from the said job at the time of the murder or the disappearance?
For at least 2 weeks. They're not talking to me.
I could have swore it was confirmed he was at work that day.
There are reports that they have packed up an RV and left the house that Sebastian disappeared from.
To go work,
Any idea why they would do that?
Yeah, they got to go work. That's what he just said.
I have no idea.
No.
Information. They weren't talking to me.
No. He's got to go work and no. I do think the mom is behind this. No. The stepdad has to go work in Memphis. Hold on. No. I know I saw that somewhere. Hold on. Let me. No. And we'll get to the next story here in a minute. Just we'll go 3 hours today. Hold on. So Sebastian Rogers' stepfather, I could have swore he had to go work in Memphis. Yeah. Here we go. Hold on. Sebastian Rogers' mom, stepdad, leave home in amid search for son. Sebastian Roberts' parents confirmed they have left their home for work while the 15-year-old is missing. Yeah, they got to go work. The mother and stepfather of Sebastian Rogers, the missing teen, told Nancy Grace they had left their home for work amid the search for the 15-year-old. Appeared on the show, posted to YouTube March 25th, and were questioned by Grace about the night of Sebastian's blah, blah. They addressed rumor they had left the Sumner County home. We were given information that you guys left the home, Grace asked. Is that true? Yes, ma'am, says Katie. Why? I'm going back to work, Chris said. Katie added that she had left the home to accompany Chris while he goes to work in Memphis. See, I was right. Are you concerned about being away from the home while the search is going? Absolutely I am, says Katie. He's got to work. The dude's got to work. The dude's got to work. I don't understand. Why everybody's acting like it's a big deal? The dude, where's this? This is in Nashville. So he's got to go to Memphis to work. He's not leaving the state. The missing kid is in Nashville. He's taking the RV and going to Memphis to work. I read initially his job was verified and that's why he wasn't asked to take a lie detector test. Exactly, Mad Season. Now, he didn't know if he even had a job left when suddenly they left to go to work. Well, maybe he got a job. Maybe there was a job that came up for him to go do. And that's why he left to Memphis. These people have to be able to still eat, man. They have to be able to pay their mortgage and shit.
I was out here trying to find my son.
Do you feel that they were taking good care of him?
The dude said that his company told him that he's late. Okay, that makes even more sense. If the company laid him off until this is over, then he had to get another job or to take other work, and maybe that other work took him to Memphis. Do you see what I'm saying? That makes even more sense. If the job he worked at in Nashville laid him off until this is over, and some other places yeah, you can come get work. Think about it. In Nashville, he's probably public enemy number one. I would go outside of the city to work too. To me, that makes sense. To me, it makes sense. Nobody in Nashville is probably going to hire him. So you got to go outside, go to where the Tyrones work. They'll hire you. Could be, for sure. They got to work, 100%.
I've got information from podcasts that they were showing that horrified me.
What do you mean? I mean, were they on podcasts or? I'm sorry, I know this is upsetting, but I just want to understand.
They were going on podcasts, and it was like it's supposed to be about Sebastian. They wanted to talk about themselves. I don't get that.
Well, that's because they're suspects, man. Oh, stepdad can work to eat, but he sure doesn't want Seth to have a GoFundMe to pay for his bills, as he doesn't work so he can look for his son. That's a good point. Chris said he will sue Seth if he keeps up the GoFundMe up. That's crazy. Exactly. That's crazy. If that's true, that's crazy. And that, I gotta admit, that looks suspicious to me as fuck. Why would the stepdad... That looks suspicious. Why would the stepdad... That's a deliberate attempt to stop the real dad from searching. From having the resources to search. Now, I do feel this. If that's accurate, if what you're telling me right now in the chat room is true, and the stepdad... You got to remember, I don't watch all these other Reddit and YouTube talk show. I look at news and shit like that. So, if what you're telling me is true, and the stepdad told the real dad he would sue him if he kept, well, it's accurate. Where'd it come from? That's crazy. Then if that's accurate, then the stepdad is more sus than I ever thought. He don't want the other side to have the money. Yeah, a lot of men saw them from Seth's own mouth last night. Oh, man, that's crazy. The stepdad himself, oh, no, the real dad said it. Okay. Stepdad said on an interview speaking to Sebastian, if he's listening, I don't know about your dad, but we love you. Oh, shit. Oh, that custody shit, that's what this is, man. I bet you that household gets revenue from Sebastian's, you know what I'm saying. I think I just figured it out. That household with that fat woman and that dude, the stepdad and the fat woman, I bet you they receive revenue from Sebastian's, you know what I'm saying? And I bet you, with Seth about to get custody, they didn't want to lose that revenue, so there's a feud. I bet you it all boils down to whatever check they're getting for Sebastian, because Sebastian's mentally, you know, fucked up. This is all going to come down to that. Exactly. This is all going to come down to that disability check if he gets it. Hey, JB, what do you think about them living in a $600,000 house and her working for Brink's Home Security and they have no cameras or security systems? That's a little strange. I had cameras and security systems in, $250,000 homes. But I'm going to be honest, that disability and child support, that is exactly what this is all about. So now I do think it's the step parent. I do think it's the stepdad and the mother. There's a backpack over his shoulder, but look in the background, it's perfect. Perfect image. The floor ain't walked on. Look. No child support between the dad and the mom. Well, I guess the question would have to be, do they get a disability check for him? If they get a disability check for him, that's probably what it's going to be about. The pic you showed of him, he has a backpack over his shoulder. I'll find that again.
We need to get Sebastian's face out to everybody. Have them looking for Sebastian. This isn't about me. It's not about his mom. It's not about his stepdad. This is about Sebastian. He needs to be found.
He was just diagnosed a year.
Have they been searching at all? I mean, I know
Kimberly said he was just diagnosed a year. Okay, Kimberly. That changes. Well, maybe he just now got it. Maybe that's what it's all about on both ends. If he was just diagnosed in the last year, maybe, just maybe, they were starting to get some sort of check, and then dad was going to take them. I still think it could be very possible. I don't know. It's just a theory. JB, the ex Nina, talked about how stepdad's family supposedly has money, like money, that they even offered to buy the daycare, new playground equipment. There you go. I question that part. So that does check away. Now you're born autistic. It's not something that just happens. Yeah, probably. That's like $4,000 a month if they're working low-wage jobs. That's crazy. Dad said mom kept him in pull-ups, not at a house. I think she's a control freak. Yeah, something's not right. I question at first being that he was going to live with the dad, did not have anything doing with the discipline. I think this is going to be. I honestly believe that that's what this is going to end up boiling down to. You guys, in this episode, you guys have literally got me now questioning the step parent and the mom. Easily the mom. If that mom was raking in any kind of revenue, Even if it would just happen in the last year. Stepdad fighting for daughter custody, did not want kid around her. That makes sense, Kimberly. Anyone that's ever raised an autistic kid or any kid with a mental illness, they know how hard it is, man. And in the beginning of this entire story, I also said that could have been a situation too where motherfuckers snapped. They're like, we can't do this and whatever. But it makes no sense because they could have just let it go to the real father, right? Bio dad said Sebastian had friends at school, but the mom and stepdad said no one at school liked him. That's crazy. All they had to do was give him to dad. Exactly. That's great. Outstanding point.
But you're out there right now. Have his mom and stepdad been out there too?
I can't answer that question. I don't know. I haven't seen them.
Dad seems legit. Dad seems legit.
Handing out flyers or searching, so I couldn't tell you what they've been doing.
Dad seems legit.
I mean, Seth, you know, I'm glad we have the picture up. He looks like such a nice young man. I mean, would he ever leave barefoot? I know that's something that's perplexed some people, and even people who have children on the autism spectrum have been perplexed by that. Does that make any sense?
It doesn't. It does not make any sense. If he knew he was going to go out walking or
Good morning,
anywhere
Trish.
in the yard or whatnot, he would put on socks and shoes. He had a horrible experience as a child with fire ants. He learned. It's always socks and shoes or at least something on your feet to protect you from what's on the ground.
Kimberly said, all right. Kimberly said, why did Dad say he was to have him last year, but he gave him a chance to do better when he could live with him? Don't sound good either. That sounds confusing, actually. What's up, Trader? Definitely sounds confusing. Gigi says, devil's advocate. With autism being a blanket label just thrown around these days, accurate, that's true. What if the kid has a behavioral problem instead, like antisocial or conduct disorder or borderline personality? That's also very possible. That's also very possible. Parents also always like to add a label to some shit to make it sound like their kid just isn't a fuck up. You know what I mean? Same thing with like chicks. Whenever you notice how now when we got a crazy bitch, everybody says, she's bipolar, JB. No, that's a moody fat whore. She's not bipolar. She's just a moody fat bitch. But you can't say that. You have to say she's bipolar. She's moody. It's a sickness, JB. No, that's just called being a woman. Same thing, Gigi, with the boys tend to be, you know, boys. But he's autistic. There's got to be a reason he's flipping or he's flying around the house and shit. You see what I'm saying? Well, maybe because boys are active, hyperactive at that. When we were, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave that alone because people like to suck off Big Pharma and shit like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? People like to suck off Big Pharma. People don't understand. 75% of America is on psychotropic drugs or on some sort of medication. You don't find that odd? You don't find that odd? All adults involved seem not to be able to handle a kid neither. Know what other household was going on. No excuse. All parties should be more aware. I agree. Kimberly. 100% agree. And some of you people out there, by the way, you know I'm telling the truth, because some of you people got your kids on psychotropic drugs. You know, let me tell you something. One of the first things, and this, I'm going to tell you what I've broken up with women for more than any. When I first meet a woman, if she has her kids on that shit that puts them to, you ever meet a woman, and men, you know what I'm talking about. You ever meet a woman and then she's got kids and what is that shit that they give kids at night to go to sleep? You know what I'm talking about? What is that fucking medication? Anyway, I literally break up with everybody. Because all this is kids not wanting to go to sleep at 8 o'clock. Not wanting to go their bedtime. Because kids, of course, if you give them a chance to stay up, melatonin. Yes, yes. Every woman seems to have their children on melatonin instead of you telling them, if you don't take your monkey ass to bed, you can't play tomorrow. If you don't take your monkey ass to sleep, you don't get to play outside tomorrow, bitch. That's how you handle that. But the women love to give them melatonin. I literally, when I get with a chick, and I'm saying this to you women now, if you have children and you give them melatonin to go to bed, you're a lazy bitch. Every one of you. You're a lazy cunt that doesn't know how to parent. End of story. End of story. Now let's get back to work. Mama wanted to get laid, JB, of course. Anyway, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. Now, back to this.
Thanks so much for watching.
I guess that story is over. Yeah, they're lazy bitches. Of course they are. Of course they are. You know what I'm saying? My granddaughter is on no medication for nothing. They shouldn't be. These motherfuckers start pumping medications into these kids so damn young. Yeah, of course do the hard work. Well, he won't calm down. Yes, he will. Pop him on his ass, put his ass in the corner. But you better calm your ass down. Jumping all over the couch. JB, it must be so difficult dating women with these kids. No, I hate them all, man. I despise them all, man, because they all, listen, and I understand it. Being a single mother is difficult. I 100% understand. 100%. But that doesn't give you a reason to just be a horrible parent. Doping up your children so you can get dick. That's a horrible parental decision. Horrible. I thought the melatonin was just my ex and I flipped shit about that. My baby girl falls asleep at 10 minutes at my house anyway. Yeah. Ain't it really funny? Ain't it really funny how threatening them works the same way as melatonin? If you do not go to sleep, you cannot go out and play tomorrow. Ain't it funny how that works just as good as melatonin? If you do not go to sleep, you cannot, your TV is coming out of this room. Ain't it funny how that works just as great as melatonin? Honestly, she knows when to stop it. It's all about to go to licks. 100%. 100%. It's definitely the case. I'm a single parent. Too many people blame not being able to parent on kids' mental health. Yeah. Better, no side effects. 100% agreed. Can't do jack shit that motherfucker tries to do a priest. We spent way too much time on those particular stories. Guys, I got another stream I got to get to at 11 o'clock. Unfortunately, this is where I'm going. I'll do the P. Diddy update and serial puncher the next stream tomorrow.
Yo, thanks for watching this clip from Coffee and Crime. Hope you guys enjoyed it. With all that being said, if you guys like what you see here and you find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Support the channel. Join the Gun Squad today. Hit the thumbs up. Let me know what you think about the video. I'll see you in the next clip. Peace out.